Um, Before I start, I just want to tell a little bit about my past journeys. Before shifting to academics, I was a journalist, and uh, during my journalism career, we actually started one, campaign kind of thing to revive Bhojpuri language in Bihar. And the Bhojpuri has not been included in the eighth schedule of Constitution as recognized or official language. It is still being considered as a dialect, and we decided to launch a campaign. And I got support from a lot of people, like son of late Prime Minister Chandrasekhar, Mr. Neeraj Shekhar, then Bhojpuri film stars, and two, three people from Airport Authority of India, retired IAS officers. So we launched that campaign, and because I mean, and just for that sake, I traveled a lot of parts of India and many states just to investigate what is the status of dialects and why these dialects are not being recognized as language. And that journey was so insightful. I traveled many states. Uh, One of the a prominent place which I visited, that was a village in Karnataka, a very small place. The name of that village is Mattur. I mean, less than 100 families are there. Now it will be somewhere around 50, 60 families only, but officially they say 100 families are there. They speak Sanskrit, and this village and the people residing in that village, they are hell-bent, they are dedicated to revive their language, Sanskrit. And the way, I mean, it was very insightful. So when I visited many parts of this country to understand the problems faced by the dialects, I came to know. I mean, I will just point two, three, important facts here. The language is being considered as the dialect is being considered as official language by Government of India on basically on the three parameters. Number one, if it is you know spoken by a very huge number of speakers, and number two, this dialect has its own organized grammar, and number three, it must have you know um, a very rich presence in terms of literature. So the literature, speakers, and the grammar, these three things play a very, I mean, a crucial role in recognizing that language, dialect as an official language. And because of these things, Bhojpuri is not being considered, and there are so many other dialects which are not being considered. So I got to know this thing. These dialects are, they these dialects, they preserve very, very important, knowledge. The knowledge embedded in these languages are surprising. But just because of some regions, some changes, some, legal obstacles and all, these dialects are not being preserved. And when these dialects are on the verge of extinctions, they are dying, we are actually going to lose very important, very, very important survival skills, ecological knowledge. A lot of other things are there which I will try to encapsulate in my presentation now. So let me start my presentation with this one, the first slide. Um See, indigenous languages as knowledge depositories. So there is a very there is one small story related to Dr. Einstein. Einstein, the famous scientist, tales and lessons from Andaman tsunami. So what happened? Once one lady, she was very close to uh, Einstein. Uh, she asked Einstein, I want to make my son like you. I mean, it is my wish he will become just like you, very famous scientist. So what should I do? So what happened? Einstein took some moments and he replied, tell him lots of stories. tales, fairy tales and all. That lady was a little bit confused that why Einstein is saying to tell stories to my son when I am willing to make my son a scientist. So there was a hidden message, in suggestion given by Mr. Einstein. In 2004, we all know in December 2004, tsunami came and created catastrophic consequences. And so I don't want to go deep in those all details to tell what kind of catastrophic consequences that tsunami, the sea waves brought. So the important thing is in 2004 when the after tsunami, government tried to assess the damages, and few people they try to inspect Andaman Nicobar Island, and they inspected that entire island, sitting inside the helicopter. And when they were doing that inspection, they saw one person. He was actually trying to attack on them using his bow and arrow. So uh, they realized that this entire, uh, this population, there is, they were thinking that there is a huge devastation on this island. Nobody is survived. But after seeing this person, they tried to research, they investigated, and they found surprising facts. There was very less, very minimal devastation happened to that Andaman Nicobar Island. And why? So they did the investigation. So this a lot of media houses they publish this story: Stone Age cultures survive tsunami waves. So what happened in Andaman Nicobar after that tsunami? It's a living example. We must understand the knowledge embedded in our vernacular languages, and we should understand the epistemic knowledge, and we should preserve these vernacular languages. So tribal inhabitants of the Andaman Nicobar Islands understand their ecology better than we do, yet we kill them by trying to bring them out. So this was the story published in a newspaper related to Andaman Nicobar Island. Let's briefly discuss about what happened in Andaman Nicobar when the mainstream areas where people are equipped with uh, scientific equipments, satellites, inputs, but still devastation was catastrophic. And but in contrast, when we assess the damage in Andaman Nicobar, it was minimal. Very less damage was there. And they were not having this kind of scientific equipments or satellite inputs, or they are not highly educated, even they are not a part of the mainstream country. So why it happened? There is a tribe, uh, Onge. There are a lot of other tribes, but mainly this Onge tribe. The Onge tribe reportedly interpreted unusual ocean behavior, receding water, animals moving inland, as a sign to escape. In Nicobari's oral narratives, the sea is described as both giver and taker, with cautionary tales about sudden floods. So, when we compare the Andaman and Port Blair is also near to Andaman. So in Andaman, the tribes they are living right now, they actually belong to the first wave of human. They have been living there for more than 30,000. Here, typo error is there. I'm sorry for that. More than 30,000 years they have been living in that island, and they have been actually transferring the knowledge embedded in their folk tales, songs. Intergenerational communication happens very efficiently there, so they actually transfer this knowledge generation to generations. But compared to Andaman, when the damage was assessed in Port Blair, where people actually started residing just 600 years ago, there was huge devastation. So the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are home to small indigenous groups like the Onge, Jarwa, Nicobaris, and Champens. These communities actually have oral traditions, songs, stories, proverbs, and they encode their environmental knowledge into their songs and stories. Their own vernacular language was the medium through which warnings and survival strategies were passed down generations. The Andaman case reminds us that losing a language is equal to losing a way of seeing and surviving in the world. So I can easily connect this incident, this tsunami and Andaman Nicobar, with the suggestion given by the famous scientist Einstein, why telling the tales, telling the stories to kids or the next generations is important. These stories, these folk songs, related to your local surroundings, you embed your knowledge into these local traditions and folk songs or stories and pass it to your generations so that it can you can transfer your knowledge embedded in your local vernacular languages. So now I will so this linguistic encoding of ecological knowledge is prominent in and it is prevailing in almost all vernacular languages. When I visited a lot of places in this country, from Chhattisgarh, then Karnataka, then Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, I found, I mean, and most importantly, Rajasthan. So it was like once you get surprised, then it will increase. I mean, more surprising facts you will find in other dialects, other regions. And I was really shocked to see that these dialects are actually vanishing, dying. There are more than 300 to 400 dialects. These dialects have only speakers less than 500 or 1,000 people, and the 90% population of those 1,000 speakers, they belong to very higher age groups, like they are senior citizens. Once they die, this this knowledge system will vanish forever from this planet. So this is the time, this is the alarming time when I am talking about this knowledge repository and vernacular languages. At this time, there will be some language, some dialects will be dying right now. One lady I met, she is very respectable lady. I actually I forget her name right now, and I don't want to pronounce her name wrong. She is in Indian Express, and she did a very marvelous research on this similar topic, survival of the dialects, and she and her article was published in Indian Express. She predicted that in the next 10 to 15 years only, more than 400 dialects will die, and this is a very serious situation. One language or one dialect is dying, it means it will take away very important ancestry or legacy, our heritage, permanently wiped out from the face of this earth. So, if we want to survive, we want to protect or preserve these knowledges embedded in the vernacular languages. We need to understand how significant, how important these languages are. I'm just going to give you some examples which will, justify my arguments here. I will start from Rajasthan. I visited this place. So there, this is very interesting example. Clouds, droughts, and other elements of nature recur in Rajasthan's folk songs. I will just give you some examples here, and you will be surprised to know this knowledge, how this knowledge, this language or dialects of, I mean, there are so many dialects in the Rajasthan. This is also similar. I mean, this case is also similar to Bhojpuri. They are also fighting to get official recognition in the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution, but because of this proper not availability of proper grammar and these all uh, problems are there. Because of that, they are not getting official recognition. In districts like Karoli, Savai Madhopur, Hadoti, and there you will find people sing about black and yellow clouds, lightning, impending rains, which are cues for field work. When we are supposed to go for field work, when we should start our agriculture, and what are the steps, and these all are decided on after calculating the weather. They understand they can do practically correct weather forecasts, and this on what basis? Their experiences. But they cannot simply tell that this is the symptom and this is going to happen. They have actually embedded this knowledge in their folk songs, and they actually these women they sing these songs, and the next generations come to know, and in a very funny way, entertaining way, they pass this information to next generations. There are different songs for different stages of the clouds, right from when they emerge to when they depart. There are 100 synonyms of clouds, and it was very surprising for me. In Hindi or English, maybe, I mean, we say badal or clouds, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, more than three, four synonyms we will be knowing. I don't know about you, but I got surprised to see this. I mean, to know these 100 synonyms of clouds. So these clouds which bring cold breeze are called kalyayan. And I'm sorry if I am not spelling it correctly, but uh, जो cold breeze लाने वाले जो बादल हैं, these clouds are called kalyayan. Clouds like cotton are called shikhar. Scattered clouds are called chitri. A small lonely cloud is called chukho. Black cloud with white area in between is called kagalod. And like this, seeing the time constants and all, I have just given these uh, five, six synonyms of the cloud. There are 100 synonyms of clouds, and each and every synonym of the cloud represents different characteristics of the cloud. Now you imagine these people, they know 100 types of clouds, and when they see the type of that certain type of cloud, they predict what is going to happen. Isn't this the right time we should encode this, should we should preserve this kind of knowledges? Now, because of the dominant languages, the I call it elite languages, Hindi and English, because of the dominance of these languages, the jobs are available in these languages. All social media or communication tools, I mean, these all are actually dependent on these dominant languages. Because of this, they are actually reluctant to speak their own local vernacular languages, and these languages are dying. And when they die, these languages die, these all languages also vanish. Next, there is one proverb also. This will also tell you how what is the richness of their language, and they have embedded this knowledge into their vernacular languages. माघ मास जो पड़े ना सीत मेहा नहीं जानियो मीत, which means that if there is no cold in the month of Magh, in Hindi, we chat, Magh, this kind of, these are the names of the months. So, Magh, which means that if there is no cold in the month of Magh, there are chances of drought next year. They can even predict the drought. And if you remember, in 1899, there was a very catastrophic drought there. Thousands and thousands of people died, and they still remember. They have made so many songs based on that 1899 ka drought, and still they pass this information. If माघ month में cold नहीं हुआ, then अगले साल पक्का सूखा आने वाला है. This kind of the knowledge and they don't know the scientific things. They don't have any weather forecasting knowledge and all. Just by observing the nature, and this is a perfect example how Mother Nature gives you knowledge if you observe her, honestly. And these songs are informal, seasonal, embedded in day-to-day life, may not be written down or viewed as scientific forecasting, but I have seen and I have noticed personally, these forecasting are very practical. It will surprise you. So, like that, if we talk about indigenous languages as knowledge repositories, I just want to share some more examples during my journey in Tamil Nadu. Childbirth practices and herbal medicine instructions were passed through women's songs, keeping medical wisdom alive outside formal texts. In Tamil language, they have made somewhere around, I mean, that very rural areas near Chennai, or if you go to, near, I forget the name of those places. They had made a very nice folk song in Tamil, and it is not pure Tamil. It's a dialect of. It's related. I mean, almost similar to Tamil, but it's a dialect. They have made folk song where they have categorized herbs and uses of those herbs in certain diseases, and they have made a song. So if you sing that song, remember that song, you will be uh, having that kind of medical knowledge, almost like first aid. So if you have this kind of disease, use this herb. If this kind of disease is there, this is the symptom, use this herb. And no need to go to, and these are practically correct. These herbs work. So they pass medical wisdom through their folk songs in their vernacular languages. Mathematical knowledge, when I went to, I mean, I am from Bihar, so in Bhojpuri, see, farmers use local idioms to calculate rainfall cycles and crop rotation, showing how science lives in vernacular speech. One, I mean, we call him Kaka. He takes care of my, agricultural activities, my farms and all. He is having such a knowledge. He will just see the cloud and he will tell you the time. And when we ask how, so he explains it in a language which I am unable to understand. But his prediction is near to correct. If it is around 2, then he will say somewhere around 2:30 बज रहे हैं या 2 बज रहे हैं, something like that. So 15-20 minutes ka there will be error. But just seeing by, I mean, seeing the sky and the weather, he will be able to predict the timing correctly. So this is the example from Tamil Nadu and Bihar. Another indigenous languages as knowledge repositories ka examples are there. Folk songs about agriculture in Bengal. In West Bengal, folk songs, Tusu, Bhadu, Mahipal, and Meshani, etc. This include knowledge about cropping sequences, planting times, plant protections, intercultural operations. And I visited Darjeeling also. After Darjeeling, visiting some areas, I went to Assam also. There, the main problem is the flood. Among tea tribe communities in Sivsagar, folk songs describing floods, when the flood will come, what will be the magnitude of the flood, when the river will start overflowing, loss of paddies, the emotional and economic impact of the floods. This helps communities anticipate damage, adapt their cropping or harvest. Mainstream disaster management often misses these local signs. So this knowledge embedded in the vernacular language must be preserved. Another example, this is from Maharashtra. There is an organization. There are a few people. They are running a very nice, very important project. It's called Pari project. Uh, these people have collected more than 80, 90,000. I mean, it's one lakh. I mean, more than thousands and thousands songs they have collected. And what kind of songs are there? Women working at grind mills would sing songs expressing social life, family relations, caste, and gender dynamics, beliefs, but also embedded environmental and ecological observations. And there are thousands, more than thousands, such songs. And the problem here is, you know, they only sing these songs, the woman, when they are actually working, when they are actually deputed near the green mills. Okay, but situation is now, the challenging situation is when technology, the mechanized mills replace the old practice, the songs fall out of use. The knowledge embedded in rhythms, metaphors, local relational ecology gets lost. And this is going to happen because technology is getting advanced and advanced. So one day, I mean, the way AI has come, and I mean, so many works which needs human interventions are actually being eliminated. So this way, if these women will lose their jobs, these thousands and thousands of songs will vanish from this planet. So important thing is we must understand how vernacular languages have knowledge. The people, the speakers, they have embedded their knowledge in their vernacular languages. And if we don't preserve these languages, we are actually going to lose this valuable information. Now we see India's multilingual heritage. These are just the superficial things which I have just included in this slide. We have 22 scheduled languages and more than 700 dialects. So we know that languages are actually carriers of culture, memory, identity. They are not just the tools of communications, they are carriers. And the journey of Indian language is not linear but layered. So earlier we started, there was oral traditions, then written, then print, then digital, and now the artificial intelligence also, I mean, it is also there. So the journey is from oral, written, print, digital, and AI. Now, because of these dominant languages, elite languages, vernacular languages are in danger. And we have opportunity also. Now we are in the digital age, we have AI, and we understand the importance of the survival of these vernacular languages and the valuable information they contain. We need to act swiftly. We need to preserve these languages. Let me tell few things also about the challenges and initiatives what I have observed, and I have done little bit of research also. So there are some initiatives taken by government on the state level also, on the central level also. So NLP is there, natural language processing for Indian languages like machine translation, voice assistants. So speech recognition, text to speech in Indian languages. Government has also started one project is called Bhashini, real time translation. And we have this Alexa, Siri, Google, these kind of voice assistants. They are also supporting Indian tongues. But are these initiatives sufficient? It is not. This I will in next slide I will tell. Um, there are very important, crucial, examples how the vernacular languages or different other languages globally they have been preserved, protected, and mostly what they had done to preserve these languages. This should be done on central government level, state government level, and community level also. So one example which I have found, I when I was in a Sarguja is a place in Chhattisgarh. I visited that place, so I came to know about this. So this screenshot is there in this slide. There in Raipur, the forest department has started giving certification to traditional health practitioners in Chhattisgarh, seeing the importance, seeing the valuable knowledge they have in their own languages, vernacular languages, and they are actually working. It's practically they are able to I mean, like common diseases are there. They are able to treat it with the help of herbs and their local knowledge is related to. I mean, so they understand local government and state government. They recognize their knowledge and they have started giving certification to traditional health practitioners. Okay, the forest department is implementing measures to advance indigenous medical knowledge within its forest dwelling tribal communities. Working jointly with the Department of Ayush and various partners, the Forest Department has initiated the certification of traditional community health practitioners, TCHPs, or they also call them traditional healers. So, including Baiga, Gunya, Sirha, Vaid. So, they are documenting various medicinal plant formulations scientifically also. When they give certifications, they try to understand, they try to take their knowledge, record, encode, and these medicinal plant formulations are very important and for them. So they make a record and they give these certificates to them also. So these kinds of initiatives are required. Now, see, it is challenge under these challenges and initiatives. When I said that Bhojpuri is not being considered as a language because of some stumbling blocks, because Bhojpuri doesn't meet the criteria set by government. Uh, so Bhojpuri is not having a proper grammar, they say. But at that time in IGNU, uh, 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 the Lok Sabha speaker actually inaugurated one course in BA in Bhojpuri, and they try to make a grammar, proper grammar of Bhojpuri, and if the other conditions like it should be spoken by a huge base, of speakers. So there are so many speakers outside this country, also in Trinidad, Tobago, and Mauritius, and all. And Bhojpuri has its own culturally rich presence, but still Bhojpuri is not getting. So it shows the reluctance of government. I'm not saying they are not working, they are not honest, but actually it is getting delayed. Uh, so the more we take time to understand the importance of these languages. However, Bhojpuri is not going to die. There is a huge base of speakers, but other languages, other vernacular dialects, and all, they are on the verge of extinction. So we should act promptly. Challenges are multilingual complexities, low resource languages, code mixing, and as I have said that like Bhashani Government of India project, open source projects for the digital inclusivity. This should be started on you know big level. Now there is one big concern, the ethical concern. So when you do the there is a transliteration or a translation in that particular vernacular language. So there is data bias and preservation versus homogenization. So these are the challenges, uh, you know, and I want to tell you one thing in this slide, common strategies across revivals. There are so many languages or dialects, they were on the verge of extinctions, but they were actually revived. Now they are, uh, very happy languages, healthy languages, and some of them, like you can see in South America, one language is there. In Japan, in New Zealand, Maori, Hebrew. Hebrew is the most successfully revived language in this world. It is considered the most successful revival, Hebrew. So when you start studying the approaches adopted by these people, or I mean, the speakers or the government or local communities, so I found these 5 points uh, actually applied by all, I mean in all the cases. Uh, Number one, we have to include these vernacular languages in curriculum at the nascent stage, at the beginning, very beginning, when child starts education. It is not mandatory that you replace the dominant language with the vernacular language, but vernacular language should be associated, should be there also, and it should be started at the very nascent phase. So immersion schools and bilingual curricula, they started. I mean, I'm talking about the common strategies across revivals. Number one. Number two, media and technology, radio, TV, apps. So they have to also play a crucial role in survival or preserving or protection of these dialects. Then on the third position, government recognition comes, legal status and official use. So government must recognize the importance of the dialects, and you cannot utilize, apply the one universal rule for all the dialects, because there are some dialects, some dialects have speakers in millions and millions, and there are dialects which have speaker in less than 500 and 200. So if the condition is it should be spoken by a huge base of speakers, then the 200 or 300 speaker, the language, the dialect which is having 2, 300 or 500 speakers, this will not get any official recognition, and we are actually allowing this dialect to die. So legal status and official use, we should encourage government to take actions in that. Cultural pride, festivals, music, literature, and local storytelling, this should also be encouraged. And the last and the most important, community ownership. It is the community which is going to lose that knowledge embedded in that particular language. So grassroots movements emphasizing heritage and identity. This is very, very important. So vernacular languages, I mean, I wish to include more examples. Like in Chhattisgarh, one language is there, Pandavi, sorry, folk song is there, Pandavi song. Then there are so many songs in different parts of this country, and all the folk songs on proverbs, they are, they have knowledge, the heritage, wisdom, they encapsulated in those vernacular languages. And if we are not taking swift action to protect these languages, we are going to lose something very important. So one example of a very weird kind of challenge we have, that is when I was talking about that bias, or the machine learning or speech to translation through the machines and all. So it's a challenge. And what kind of challenge is there? I have one small interesting example of that. Yeah, I think it will be suitable to quote here. Many of you must know this. This is related to the Mahabharata. I don't know it is a factual, it is a fictional, but this example is suitable to quote here. In Mahabharata, there is one shloka. केशवम पतितम दृष्ट्वा पांडवा हर्ष निर्भरा रोदन्ति सर्वे कौरवा ha ha keshav keshav. Now, if you try to decipher, decode the meaning of this shlok, I mean, it is written in Sanskrit. So it is saying that keshavam patitam drishtva, matlab, keshav is actually referred to Krishna. So केशव कृष्ण का पतन या उनकी मृत्यु देखकर पांडवा हर्ष निर्भरा, पांडव हर्ष से भर गए, खुश हो गए कि केशव की मृत्यु हो गई. एंड सारे कौरव हा केशव कहकर रोने लगे. एंड कौरव स्टार्टेड क्राइंग दैट कृष्ण डाइड. So this is ironic and it's funny. So when Krishna was fighting against the Kaurava, then why the Kauravas will start crying because Krishna is no is dead? No. So this was a translation. Some of the genius people, they had translated, decoded the meaning of this particular this shloka. But the actual meaning is Keshavam. Shav means dead body. So केशव शव को पानी में गिरते देख केशवम पतितम दृष्टवा पांडवा हर्ष निर्भरा. Pandava is like the fishes which are which live in the water. So शव को पानी में गिरते देख जलीय मछलियां हर्ष से भर गई. रोदंती सर्वे कौरवा. Here the कौरवा means the crow, कौवा. सारे कौवे रोने लगे. हा हा केशव केशव, कि हाय शव पानी में गिर गया, धरती पे गिरता तो हम भी उसको खाते, लेकिन वो चला गया. So when we try to decode the language, the knowledge embedded in the vernacular languages. Here I have just given the example of from Sanskrit and from the Mahabharata, but this is a live. I mean, it's a very important example. If we are going to preserve the vernacular languages and the knowledge embedded in the vernacular languages, then the process to encode those languages should be done ethically and grammatically, uh, I mean, to decipher the meaning in a correct way. Otherwise, the whole efforts will be futile and catastrophic. So meanings will change if we are not going to do so. Unless and until we train our machines, AI, to translate, otherwise these AI tools will translate this kind of quotes or proverbs or folk songs in this way, and where the whole purpose will be defeated when the meaning is not translated in a right manner. So, having said that, um, this is this was my observation related to the linguistic heritage as knowledge repositories, with some examples, and the epistemic significance of vernacular languages. Uh, uh, Thank you so much for listening me so patiently, and I'm open for the questions. Over to Shabina, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, ma'am.
So, your topic, linguistic heritage as a knowledge repository, the epistemic significance of vernacular languages. Connect languages to the politics of memory and identity. And very beautifully, you explore how every Indian language is a repository of collective intelligence, carrying within its centuries of lived experience, oral wisdom, and philosophical inquiry. Uh, I would ask, I would like to ask few questions. So there, I think participants, if you have any question, please post it in the group. Yes, sir. There are some questions. Shall I?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How can technology like social media or translation tools help us save and spread dying languages? It is by
Yeah,
Afzal Khan. Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. Beautiful questions. See, language or dialect. See, this dialect is actually it is alive till the last speaker is alive. So once we start talking in the dialect, then we are actually trying to, preserve the knowledge also embedded in that vernacular languages. So the more and more we increase the practice to speak in that particular language or in the dialect, you are actually helping that language to, to survive. So social media tools, see, there are some things like which when you are angry, when you are facing very intense emotional situations, at that time you will feel that your own mother tongue will be very helpful to vent your emotions or express your emotions. So that's why it's called mother tongue. So it's like the more you speak, the more you use in your day-to-day life, you are actually going to help. And social media is, these tools are to, communicate, express your feelings. And when you try to communicate with your audience or your friends or your community, this is your prime purpose, to communicate in very effectively and try to make emotional emotional connect with your audience. And this is practically observed that your vernacular language, and the person who is also he belongs to that same community, you are also from that same community. If you are trying to speak, you are actually going to help. So use the social media tools. Never feel shame or hesitance or reluctant to use your own vernacular language. Feel pride and show off. Use it. Social media is actually for you to show, to express your feelings, your and use your own language. Feel proud. This is the way you are going to actually help your vernacular language survive. Any other question, ma'am?
One more question is there, sir. Somebody posted it. To what extent can digital media, AI, and translation technology contribute to or distort the process of language revival?
The last part, all what?
The process of language revival.
Yes, this is like it's like ये एक वरदान है हमारे लिए. This is very important. See, there are when I visited Andhra Pradesh, there are a group of few people. They are actually collecting the Pandulipis, you know, and they are trying to digitize it. They scan it and make a PDF in high quality, and when they, but there are few people they don't understand, but they are actually doing what they are preserving these Pandulipis and all. Now, if you are going to translate, you are going to decode or decipher the meaning of those Pandulipis or the knowledge embedded in those all scriptures and all. So if you want to propagate, you want to disseminate the information to a larger community or the society, or you want to say like in earlier Panchatantra stories were there, they cross the boundaries. There is so many countries, Syria and Arabic countries and all. At that time, it took so many times. I mean, because of the popularity, people carry that stories with them, and then these stories were disseminated or transferred. Now, this all information can be disseminated in in just few minutes. You use your these digital tools, you translate. So these machine learning, these digital tools, these all are here, AI tools and all, to help you. But it will take some times because they actually get trained, and it is onus on our head. It is our responsibility. If you start using, if you start training those all AI tools and all, one day I think they will be helpful. But we have to use these AI tools, in particular this area, in a cautionary terms, like if they are not going to translate in a literal meaning or what is expected, then we have to check it. So these digital tools or AI tools, these all are actually very beneficial for us. We can use. Government is also taking so many measures. There are some initiatives being taken by IITs and other technological institutions. They are actually going to devise some codes, their apps for real-time translations. They can understand the proverbs, the hidden meaning. They are actually trying to give some kind of insightful information related to semiotics. So semiotics is the study of, it's the science of science. So science, like वो विज्ञान वाला science of science, SIGNS, science, symbols and all. So semiotics is the science of science, and metaphors, metaphors tell something else, it's connotative meaning. What we get is a denotative meaning, but semiotics helps us to understand the connotative meanings. Machines are actually not equipped right now to decipher the connotative meanings. It will take some time, but certainly these are going to help us in a way to preserve or protect our vernacular languages.
Thank you, sir. One more question is there. Shall I ask?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What role can university and local governments play in promoting unrecognized or less dominated language?
Yes. Universities and I mean, this question is related to the academic institutions and government. See, as I said, the vernacular languages, if you see the examples of, exemplary examples of the revival of so many other dialects globally. One example was Hebrew language and the Maori in New Zealand. So in that slide, I have already told that the community has to take initiative. Government has to take initiative, local government has to take initiative. And one very important thing which I have mentioned, which I on the basis of the observation, they actually introduced the vernacular languages in their curriculum at the very nascent stage. When child starts his or her education at the beginning, he should start his vernacular languages. But challenge here is central government can make the policy universal policy for all the universities, but the dialects belong to a particular region, particular state. So state government has to understand the importance of that dialect and introduce this kind of curriculum. National education policy also emphasized to start the course in vernacular languages. If you see NEP 2020, government is very serious about vernacular languages. So universities should encourage that vernacular and tell them, make awareness that about the importance of the vernacular language. Start at the nascent stage and encourage them to use it. Let them feel how important the language is. And if national policy, the government made this National Education Policy 2020, it says that they should encourage the vernacular languages. Now it is up to the university, the teachers, the administration of the university, how serious they are. They have to implement it. So there are some requests. People are also, students are raising their request that they want to do their PhD in vernacular languages. And government is saying, yes, you can do that. But there are some, introspections, some talks are going on, and so teachers can take moral responsibility. They can introduce, they can encourage. University should follow that NEP 2020, and government has already given green flag for that. Uh, I want to just add one more thing here. We understand the importance of naturopathy, uh, Ayurveda. So naturopathy has been there in our traditions, in our culture for thousands of years. It's a very old legacy we have been, preserving. So now you see the use of turmeric, the use of methi, the use of neem leaf, the use of tulsi, these kind of things. Can't we start naturopathy, the basic naturopathy in the school, so that people can understand the importance of herbs? They can understand if minor, these kind of diseases or symptomatic diseases are there. We can use this. We can take this leaves of tulsi or neem or methi or turmeric and all these things. So naturopathy is there. After getting independence, uh, we should start this kind of subjects. So when I also talk about the ecological knowledges embedded in the vernacular languages, I gave you examples related to from the Rajasthan or this Andaman Nicobar Island. If we try to encode those in ecological knowledges embedded in the dialects spoken by tribes of Andaman, and you start introducing these things in their curricula, okay, in their schools, this is going to create a very strong foundation, and the future will be very bright in terms of vernacular languages, and we will have a very strong, very influential knowledge system given by our own vernacular languages. Hope I have given a satisfactory answer. Um,